Vice President Kamala Harris. Madam Vice President, thanks so much. Thanks so much for dropping by this evening.
Of course.
Polling shows that a lot of people, especially independent voters, really want this to be a change election. And that they tend to break for you in terms of thinking about change. You are a member of the President's administration. Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of. But also, I think it's important to say with 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly, I love the American people, and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic, and I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity and in that way grow the strength of our nation. So for example, my economic policies, I think of it and I've named it as creating an opportunity economy. So it's about things like investing in small businesses. I love our small businesses. The woman who helped raise us, we call her our second mother because my mother worked long days and hours. She was a small business owner. So as a child, I grew up knowing that a small business owner is someone who is a leader in the community, hires locally, trains locally, builds, contributes to the civic and the cultural fabric, right? So my plan includes extending a tax deduction for startup small businesses to $50,000 instead of what currently it is at $5,000, because nobody in 2024 can start up a small business with $5,000. I believe, and I spend a lot of time talking in particular with young families, young people across our country, and frankly, Stephen, the American dream right now is really elusive for far too many people in terms of even aspiring to own a home. It's too expensive. We don't have enough housing. We have a housing shortage. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector, with builders and developers, to build 3 million more homes by the end of my first term, and to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance so they can just get their foot in the door to home ownership, which is the fastest and the most efficient way for people to build intergenerational wealth. These are the ways that I think about how we build up our country in a way that is about supporting the middle class. I come from the middle class. I'm never going to forget where I come from. And I know that the middle class and strengthening the middle class is how you strengthen America and our economy.
Well, your opponent and his vice president the other night in the debate said, well, Kamala Harris has been vice president for 3.5 years. Why hasn't she fixed everything already? Can you describe to them what the job of vice president is like? And what have you told Tim Walz about the job? Have you described to him the vast powers vested in the vice presidency?
I did. I have pointed out through my 3.5 years of being vice president that it's vice president. And there are a lot of responsibilities that you take on. But did you see that kid who was interviewed after their debate? And you have to see it, Stephen. And he gave just a total civics lesson about the role of vice president.
Oh, yes, in the audience.
Exactly, he was in the audience.
Yes.
I encourage anybody to look at it on YouTube. Yes. It was so good.
Yes.
But Tim Walz, I have to tell you, someone asked me recently, what's the last big decision I made that was a gut decision? And when I was looking at potential running mates, there are incredibly talented, experienced, wonderful people. And ultimately, I chose and asked Tim Walz because just my gut told me that he will be what I think we want in our country. He reminds me of people I grew up with. We grew up in 2 different parts of the country. He grew up in a rural area in the Midwest. I grew up in California. Seemingly, if you look at the 2 of us together, we have nothing in common. But he's the kind of people I grew up with. They may have been a different race in a different part of the country. Hardworking folks. Folks who are plain talking, who care about family, care about community, care about hard work. That's who Tim Walz is. He's going to be a great vice president.
We have to take another quick break here. We'll be right back with more Vice President Kamala Harris, everybody. Stay right.